Hello and welcome to another edition of Motor Capital. And I'm looking across to Windsor there and where the Detroit River Tunnel may surface. There's a bridge there. I think it's just south of there. And there's my evil twin. Got a glimpse of them. They're supposed to redo this park here too. But here, let's follow the train line. Roosevelt Park, that's where Michigan Central Depot is. Then the rail line right behind it, and then it runs to the Detroit River, then underground. And then the street listings here block where exactly it ends up in Windsor. But we could take the train, passenger train service from the train station to Toronto and then Montreal. And if you go west, you could take it to Dearborn. Ford could hook up with their world headquarters and then on to Chicago. We'll talk more about that in future shows. But here, welcome back, Detroit. So that is good news indeed. Detroit has emerged from bankruptcy and a lot of positive signs. That was the city of River Rouge. As soon as I cross the bridge here, we'll be in the city of Detroit, and this is a recently refurbished bridge. It got run over by a boat a few years back, and they got it fixed now. So I'm going to take Jefferson Avenue, and this is a Monday, June 25th, and this is the day of the Detroit fireworks, the International Fireworks, a collaboration with the city of Windsor. The International Fireworks thing. Zug Island to the right there, which Zug Island, it's actually my favorite island. And the historic Fort Wayne to the right, and then here to the left is going to be the new bridge crossing for the Gordie Howe Bridge. And next week's show, I'll cover part of that. They had a big press conference, a groundbreaking ceremony to get started on that bridge, but they've already done a lot of the demo work. We see some police officers here. They had a lot. I think all hands were on deck for the fireworks, for crowd control, traffic control, the whole 9 yards. It's a big to-do. And I think by all accounts, the fireworks went real well this year. Certainly a beautiful day. Oh, I was pointing there on the map where I was where I parked. I stopped in at Cutter's Bar and Grill. And nice graffiti action here. The fireworks are going to start around 9:55. It runs for 24 minutes, so about 10:19. So I got my clock synchronized on the camcorder, and we'll keep an eye. It's just a few days shy of a full moon. I think it was on the 28th was the full moon day, but they're doing a lot of work here at Eastern Market, so they poured a footing, and that would have been a good vantage point up on the roof. Here, a lion, hopefully they're ferocious this year, but a lot of prognosticators are picking the Lions to be around 6-10. 6 wins and 10 losses. They have a difficult schedule. There's a rooftop party going on here. A few people have gathered. And we find a lot more people living in the urban environment these days and not your traditional housing, but they mix it up a little bit. Here's the DeQuender Cut, and this is experienced a huge rebirth in the last few years as a nice bicycle path, jogging path, and the like. And even earlier this summer, they had camping in the DeQuender Cut. Now there's a place called the Freight Yard, so you can wet your whistle down there and have a cold one. The police were, except these people kind of somehow got through all the police presence, but they didn't want people going down the DeQuender Cut to the Detroit River. That was my game plan. I'm going to have to go to Plan B and do the detour. I love the industrial art. And here we're getting close to dusk, so that stuff kind of stands out. All right, St. Joseph's Catholic Church, a prominent church in the area. Yeah, so I couldn't go down. The Quinter Cut would have afforded me a great view. Right, I could have got right down by the river and so forth and unobstructed, but I decided, well, I'm going to walk down Gratiot Avenue and then make a left and head down river that way. I didn't leave myself too much time to explore before the fireworks start, but I will be able to catch out a few of these artistic murals. And this was kind of like a green space in between two buildings. Kind of interesting, but yeah, I like this one. Gratiot Avenue is one of the spokes that emanates from downtown that will have to be part of the picture, actually, or certainly a huge piece of the puzzle in Detroit's rebirth. Woodward Avenue is Main Street, Detroit, and it runs right up the middle of the city, divides it kind of into east and west, and Gratiot is the prominent street on the east side. On the west side, we'll have to work with Grand River, but you also have Michigan Avenue, and going downriver, you have Southfield, or Fort Street, sorry. I said Southfield. I meant south of the city. Busy Bee. It's a hardware store that's been around for years. And a lot of attractive buildings here along Gratiot Avenue. I wouldn't say with the fencing there, the security fencing, that's not too attractive, but yeah, every little property is a piece of the puzzle. Unfortunately, this Antietam closed. It was open for a spell, and they spent a lot of work making it done up nice. They did a good job. I'm not sure what the story was. Here, Fast Luck. I need to get one of these candles, especially if it works. Ford Field off in the distance where the Lions play. And they may have soccer there, but I think soccer's meant to be outdoors. So build an outdoor stadium that can have 5,000 or 10,000 people, and you're good to go. Ford Field you're not going to get 60,000 people necessarily, I don't think, to watch a soccer game. Welcome to Eastern Market. Yeah, the last few years, they've done a lot as far as beautifying the area with artwork. Here, a bunny rabbit hopping along. Yeah, they've encouraged graffiti artists or muralists to do their handiwork on sides of buildings. Some are inhabited, others not, but kind of creates a little attention. All right, Detroit City Distillery presents. They have tours and events. So there you go. And Detroit Edison has a little power thing going there. Then this Greektown put this up. It's kind of like the red light district, but that is pretty bright. There you see Music Hall. Yeah, this is a Monday evening. They like to have the fireworks, early in the week like this. Canada celebrates Victoria Day, so it's a joint thing here. Okay, 9:55 it's supposed to start. Like that. They're right on time. And so here we go. But my vantage point is not the best. I have a parking deck in the way. Kind of an artistic stairwell there. Another look at the stairwell. How about it? But yeah, I got to get, I'm on the Chrysler service drive. I got to get around this. A lot of people stopped and parked over here, but the fireworks are behind the Renaissance Center, so I'm going to keep heading in a southerly direction, kind of. And get down by the river if I can. And some other folks have the same idea in mind.
341. Texas.
Yet another parking deck in the way. Got to get around that. Yeah, I did not expect the DeQuinder Cut to be closed, so I'm kind of late as far as getting in position. Check out these heart-shaped fireworks. How do they do that? That's incredible. The Blue Cross Blue Shield clock is slow by like 3 minutes because I synchronized my clock, went online, time.is or whatever, and it's down to the second. So they need to update their clock. Okay, I made it down to Jefferson. Okay, yet another parking deck out front, but this is about as good as it's going to get for me. Well, with that 24-minute show, I'm expecting 10:19. I mean, there was plenty of spots in between where the fireworks were going ballistic, but I knew the grand finale was going to be around 10:19, so I'm monitoring the situation. But a lot of people here taking pictures with their smartphones. And, quite a show it is. This looks pretty good here, but we still got 5 minutes yet to go. Okay, less than 3 minutes to go. Two minutes. One minute. Simply spectacular. Job well done, as they do each and every year. So it's one of Detroit's signature events, along with things like the Detroit Grand Prix, and Detroit Jazz Festival, and any number of things. We have a full calendar. Floods here. I thought they might be open, but they're not. It was a Monday. Sometimes bars and restaurants will take a Monday off, but other watering holes were open. Not a traditional heavy. Oop. Wowie. It's one of those situations where I was in the right place at the right time. Wow. But yes, I should at this point probably suggest, that this show is for mature audiences only. Then the police started getting active here. They had some kind of run, maybe a break-in or something along those lines to deal with, but after the fireworks is over, there's a huge outflux of telling the police officers that the bad guys went that way. There's a big chase scene going on. But yeah, everybody's trying to leave at the same time.
Space Cool Light ET.
This building is featured in I believe it was a Chrysler commercial. They had some gospel singers up on the roof singing. Nice triangular shaped building. A bar. But and there's a barber shop on the second floor. Classic looking building. And then this is the old Wayne County building. And I think Venus Bronzework did the refurbishing of the sculptures up top. And they're also going to be in charge of doing the RoboCop statue. And you stick around later in this show and just a what do we got here? Oh, well, it was close to a full moon. It wasn't a full moon night. That might explain part of it. But yeah, it was a few days shy of a full moon. But people were in a good mood, enjoying themselves. Didn't bring my basketball, otherwise I could have shown you a few monster dunks. You play at your own risk. Now, it used to be the building with the cherry on top, but they changed the colors recently. It went from red to kind of a dark blue, purplish kind of a deal. And hopefully the planes flying up top can realize that purple ball is the Penobscot. This is a new restaurant. It took over from another one. It's called Park. They've done a great job with the campus. Marcius Park. They even have kind of like a beach area kind of a thing. So it's all good. Things are just getting better all around. Just good news here, there, and everywhere. The Sailor and Soldiers Monument. Yeah, a lot of cop cars running. I think they're investigating a break-in, if I'm not mistaken. That's the Waterboard building. That's an attractive building. A lot of bike clubs. This is fantastic what's happening with this. There's clubs all over Detroit that organize group or block clubs or whatnot, and they deck out their bikes to the nines, which is a lot of fun. They got all the tricked out lights and everything, the boom boxes. Tony Hawk, the famous skateboarder, has a skate park here that he designed. And there's some artwork adorning the walls here. I have a friend at work that's a skateboard guy. He's been out there. Look at this. This used to be a parking garage along with a few businesses, but they tore this all down. It had a nice little curly queue to get to the roof, a big circular kind of thing, kind of like Cobo Hall. Look at the different rates here. The standard rate is $50. $50 will not make you holla. Damn, that's a lot of money to pay for parking. All right, well, Greek Town. And then the old police station. You got like naked babies adorning the front entrance there. I'm not sure what that's all about. Here a police officer thought at first he was given a ticket. Oh no, he was admiring the guy's ride. He had a nice styling car there. This is the jail side. I don't know if they're going to move this. I mean, that jail might stay there. But this is the failed jail. They're in the process of already tearing this down. Dan Gilbert's going to put up a development here, and the jail is going to move over to the kind of the St. Aubin, Warren area. All right, well, it's getting a little dark here, but a little more mural action. Ford Field, it looks like it changes colors. Oh, we got an eye in the sky. They're on to me. Can't go nowhere now. Yeah, they were checking my evil twin out. But yeah, while I was lollygagging on my way back home, I was taking my own sweet time. I was admiring some of the graffiti, but came back to this. Somebody broke into the car and broke the side window out. And the only thing that was taken was my dad's hat. My dad gave me an old-style Stetson hat. Ooh, I got to switch tapes. Yeah, a nice hat, and I had it in the back seat, and I was going to wear it when I went to the Willis Show Bar. I should have put it in the trunk. That's my mistake. You always hear about police officers say, don't leave anything out in the open for people to see, and I was guilty of that mistake, so that wasn't a pleasant surprise at all. Okay, I switched tapes here, this different scene, whatnot. This Ford took over the old Masco World headquarters. So they have a nice styling building here. And this was on a Saturday. I'm doing a kind of a walking tour. I'm getting into that urban planning thing a whole lot, which probably bores people to tears. But they're probably not crying because they're not watching. But anybody that's into urban planning, knows it's important, but it's not exciting like women twerking or anything like that. But anyways, it affects us all in the long run, for sure. If you do urban planning right, it can go a long way in making people's lives better, creating jobs, living conditions, and so forth. Here, Kmart. This is an abandoned Kmart now. It's vacant. Masco is there on the left. The Kmart here on the right. What do? Maybe you could have some commercial businesses up front, and then maybe a little park behind, and then some 3 or 4 story high apartments or condos in the back that would face I-94. But yeah, this is the Van Born corridor. Dearborn Heights on the north side, and Taylor, the city of Taylor, on the south side. So the two cities are kind of collaborating and talking about what they can do to improve this Van Born corridor. So urban planning is important no matter where you are. It can be done in any neighborhood, any city. What I'm doing is I took a tour. Now I'm coming back to where I dropped my car off to get repaired. And so they're open till noon on Saturday. So I'm getting back here just in the nick of time. Paid for it with my credit card, got my receipt, got my keys back, and we're going to see if this was all done right. So we're going to operate the window. Doesn't go all the way down, but yeah, it looks like it's doing fine. So glass is all in one piece, so I'm good to go.
Just one of more than 600 marches in cities across the country today protesting the Trump administration immigration policy that separates children from their families. Through an interpreter, Jocelyn talks about that separation.
On this particular week, the ICE thing was a big deal, trying to reunite kids with their families. That's another fiasco. There's a weekly fiasco with this current president. I stopped at Chase Bank to do a little banking business, so there's a lot of things you can take care of along the Van Born Strip. Well, I had a slow leak in the front tire. They were open, which was great. I had picked up a couple of nails in the front tire, and so they put a couple of patches, and I was good to go. What was it? $8. Very reasonable. And they're proud to be American. Well, while I'm still on the Van Born Strip, I was taking care of all little errands, but I've always wanted to take a picture of this. I don't think I really ever did. This is like the world's largest paint can. Unless somebody can tell me there's a larger paint can somewhere else, I'm going to go with that. Okay, the city of Taylor to the south there, and Ecorse Creek runs pretty much almost parallels Van Born. But this paint can is a little weathered, but it's amazing. It's kind of true to life. But the business is no longer open. It's for sale. The bottom of the paint can is rusted out. And then just further down on Beach Daily, there's another larger-than-life thing. This is a Vietnamese Buddhist thing, but if you follow the golden rule, and if you want to have one rule to follow, that would be it, the golden rule. This might be your place, actually. But this was fascinating. And I'm not sure the story. It would have been nice. I maybe could have knocked on the door and gotten the history and what the whole thing. But, yeah, well done. And I've always wanted to attend services from different religions to see how they worship and whatnot, and the whole religious thing, how the basis of it. There's so many world religions and so many different denominations and so forth. It's nice to understand or have an understanding of other people's beliefs and their systems. Okay, one more stop here to do today. I stop at the local Saturn, I pick up the circular, and then I kind of circle what I might get. I had a hankering for hamburgers, so I needed to get the buns. And so this was the last stop. It was a hot, humid day. Yeah, 87 in the house. Wowee. That's a little too hot. Okay, so that completed my errand running. We got one last segment to do, and we'll call it a day. I took the day off, actually, and I wanted to check out the Cultural Center area, and specifically the Michigan Science Center, to get a status update on RoboCop. There was something in the news. They had an article back in May saying that probably by summertime, RoboCop would make its presence and be out patrolling the streets of Detroit, kind of a thing. So I'm going, cool. Let's see where this is going to go. I have an artist that I met a while back at a Man in the City event, and her name's Nikki. And I said, I want you to paint RoboCop. So I'm going to try to commission her and see if she can do a painting of RoboCop. And I'm thinking, well, here, the Michigan Science Center, I didn't talk to anyone at this point, so I'm thinking, well, maybe they'll put RoboCop right out in front here. It's a 10-foot tall bronze thing. But I says, you know what, I'm going to go inside and see if they can give me some more info. So this is the main entrance here, so I'm going to go inside and ask them what the deal is. And they told me it's going to go where the Mobius sculpture was. And the Mobius is kind of a neat little sculpture that they had, a circular little thing. And it was here, and then they refurbished it, but they didn't attach it too good, and a windstorm or some kind of storm blew it down the street, and it damaged it again. But they said RoboCop is going to go up here in this particular little circular thing. They'll probably take this down. These were they might relocate that wherever they put the Mobius. Well, the lady inside gave me the printout here. RoboCop statue to make Michigan Science Center home. So yeah, this article was written on May 2nd in the Detroit News. And this is so cool. There's a lot of RoboCop fans. But it'd be a great photo op when this is all said and done. You know, a lot of people are going to be taking their selfies and whatnot. But yeah, right there. And I'm thinking it's going to be facing John R. John R. is to the street behind me here. And so the backdrop will be the Michigan Science Center. So how cool will this be? But it's delayed. They say it's not going to happen until next year. Okay, this is probably be the nice view where I'll have Nikki take an art piece, kind of a surreal RoboCop. And then, well, you can get here by bike if you want. They have the Mogo bikes, and we're seeing more and more of that in Detroit. More bike lanes. It's all good. Here, an Alexander Calder piece, a young woman and her suitors. I don't know if I can picture all that in that piece of art, but maybe you can. I don't know. But yeah, the Detroit Institute of Art's nearby, and I think these young ladies are going inside to enjoy some of the artwork. Music and drama. Yeah, we have a nice art institute for sure. And our cultural center is quite nice. And then, well, the DIA right now, this is currently going on. If you're into Star Wars, they got the Power Up costume. This runs through September 30th. And then across the street is the Scarab Club. And they're kind of artsy over here also. Oh, there's the Eye in the Sky. The Man in the City. And he's all over the place. So Scarab Club once, twice, 3 times. 3 times a charm. Look at the brickwork. We have a lot of interesting architecture, certainly, in the city of Detroit. And 1910, and then when it says 1920, I don't know in 1928 if it was updated. I'm sure it didn't take no 18 years to complete the building. Here in 1967 Rebellion, I grew up thinking or hearing all the time the 1967 riots, but I'm hearing more and more now, certainly from a different perspective. A lot of people viewed it as a rebellion, which it kind of opened my eyes to that. And so Coleman Young weighed in on this. And 43 deaths. Yeah, this was an unfortunate thing. I was all of 7 years old when this went down. And I remember asking my parents, I said, what is a riot? We were watching this on TV and stuff, and a riot. I had no concept. My little brain couldn't wrap itself around the concept of a riot. But, well, it was a rebellion. And it was sad it all went down and so forth, and a whole lot of changes certainly took place because of this. But Detroit kind of goes through a lot of cycles, up, down, and this certainly was a big downer, a 50-year kind of decline in the city. And right now, it's on the upswing. If you can kind of liken it to a sine wave, it's going on the upswing right now. We emerged from bankruptcy, and despite Donald Trump's efforts to ruin America, Detroit, well, we have to do things on our own. We can't rely on the federal government to help us out. I really think we're going to have to do this ourselves. But I love that sculpture we just saw, black and white kind of coexisting and looking stylish there. Okay, St. Auburn and Frederick. I'm not far from there's the waste incinerator. That has no place in an urban environment. I don't know why they never put that in an industrial area. But DET.com is the website. I like doing the urban thing. My suggestion would be to tear this toilet down. It's not functional and it looks like shit. But anyways, this is where they have the Blues Festival each and every Sunday, weather permitting, from May through like October. And John's Carpet House used to be across the street, and they had carpeting throughout the house and they had blues jams, but the place burned down. So they moved it across the street and in this nice field area, and it works quite well. It's a happening blues jam. It starts usually about 3 in the afternoon, maybe a little bit before, and runs till dusk. So right about now you could figure on it running till about 9 p.m. But we're close to that incinerator, so here's the sign telling you a number to call, even to call the mayor. They need to reposition this somewhere else. It's not suitable for an urban environment. People don't like breathing that stuff, especially when they incinerate things like batteries. Then it puts up lead and arsenic and all heavy chemicals in the air and so forth. That's not good. That's not good at all. All right. Well, I got the whole day off, so there's nothing totally planned here, but I'm stopping here nearby the Shane Ferry, at the Shane Ferry Market. And this could be like a mini Gibraltar Trade Center. Just open this up to the public, maybe charge them $5 for a table or something, and let people sell their goods and whatnot and make a few dollars and so forth. That would be kind of cool. Flea markets always seem to work, and I don't know if Detroit really actually having one per se. Now, there's a Drinks by Design event, and they have one every month, except I think a couple of months in the winter, but they are fabulous. So they have one on Bellevue Street. I'm going to swing back around later this afternoon because it doesn't start till around 5 to 8:30. And I wanted to check out the Boblo boat. But before I do that, look at this. They have like aquatic excursions, and you can check out historic Fox Creek, Belle Isle, hipster beaches, and you have Captain LJ. So I got this postcard, and I says, yeah, I'd be up for a little boat tour. Down the way is Grosse Pointe. So we're near the Grosse Pointe Detroit border. If I can get the map to cooperate. Fox Creek runs right down to the Detroit River. And so that would be part of Captain LJ's boat tour. There's the Chrysler plant. So here's Marshall's Bar. That's the starting point. But first we're going to take a look at Fox Creek Park, which adjoins, it's just the other side of the creek from Marshall's Bar. We see a queen bee in action. This is a nice little park. Nice tile action, love, peace, all that good stuff. Nice flowers. And Fox Creek kind of starts here, right at Jefferson. Here's the boat landing. And it's not a fast-moving creek. Okay, right next is Moe's Bait Shop. I think of the Simpsons. Isn't it Moe's Bar in Simpsons? I don't know. I think so. Okay, so I'm inside Marshall's Bar. Look at here, the Gold Cup. Are we going to have that this year? That was like the longest running trophy awarded in motorsports, and I haven't heard anything about the powerboat races that they'd have. So I don't know. They always have like financial trouble in the last few years. Okay, July 12th was the day the Tigers aren't playing. Up top, they have album covers. Maybe the younger folk aren't sure what those are. They didn't grow up with any of that, but I actually had that Foghat album. Free beer tomorrow. Well, guess where I'm going to be tomorrow? Right back here. Celebrate life. Okay, well, Fox Creek, it's not open right now, but this would be the starting point for the boat excursion. So that's on my bucket list. I got to plan this out. I've tried to make arrangements and see what the tour schedule is, but we'll see how that goes. But there's a tree that fell across here, so you kind of got to navigate around that tree. I'm not sure what kind of a boat is used. Then this is a few businesses across the way is a restaurant. And I was told this restaurant's going to open soon. I think it was a restaurant in the past, but it's going through its second rendition now. There's a primitive church. But yeah, you have a little back 40 out here where you can kind of relax. And it would be kind of interesting to come here on the weekend and chill. There's not many bars along Jefferson Avenue actually in the Detroit area. Or the Detroit stretch. So it's kind of nice to find a watering hole where you can just rest for a little bit. Here's a look inside the restaurant. It might have been Norma G's. All right, free cabbage. It's not like what you think, though. Like if I said free cabbage, cabbage is kind of street slang for money. But yeah, fortunately, it's not free money. But yeah, if you wanted cabbage, it was there for the taking, and they had potatoes. Here at the Vanity Ballroom. Now this is should be on our bucket list of things to renovate and refurbish, and to make sure we make a go of this, because this was a class joint, East Jefferson and Newport, and we kind of let this building go. Years ago, I actually took a tour inside, and it's just gorgeous and so forth, but it needs some work. But the Aztec type styling, they had the jazzing on Jefferson. I don't know if they still do that. If they do, it's in August. I'm going to have to keep an eye out. But just across the street, there's another building here, so I decided to take the detour here and just see. Always doing the urban planning thing to see if there's hope and whatnot. Some things you kind of cost-benefit analysis and look at this and say, okay, renovation cost, and whether it's worth doing it, whether you can pull it off. And I'm not good with numbers in that sense to tell you. I'd be willing to bet this building, though, would be best be torn down. But it's not my call, but it's not in good shape, to be sure. Here the stairwell leads to a pitfall, and yikes. They have a nice kind of like poem here, or a dissertation about veterans and so forth here. But it's an older one because the paint is peeling and faded away. There was a boutique here at one time. Yeah, everything's a piece of the puzzle. And sometimes you have white elephants, or black holes or whatnot. Hey, look at the bike lanes. This is a good positive. So we got parking on the inner lane there, and the bike lane's closest to the curb. I like this woodcut. This was cleverly done. Someone spent a little time on this, so hopefully they get to dancing back here again. That would be nice. Yes, we need to focus on certain things. Okay, then cross over Connor Creek. That's another neat little area. And I was here for a Drinks by Design event in June. And the Edison Boat Club. And so when I was viewing the Edison Boat Club, I said, damn, that looks like the Boblo boat. Unfortunately, it was the Boblo boat, but it was the pre-fire Boblo boat. I think it was July 6th. The boat experienced a devastating fire. So I parked here at the St. Jean's boat launch, and I'm going to walk over there and get a closer look at what remains of the Boblo boat. This was sad indeed. I'm not quite sure how to take this. I was curious with the Boblo boat years ago, and someone said it was out at the Nicholson terminal. So I went, and sure enough, there it was, and I inspected, and I go, great. And so they were working on refurbishing it. Then it moved up in the Rouge River by the Oakwood Bridge, or the Fort Street Bridge. What is it? The Oakwood Bridge. But then look, it was here, and boom, they were welding. A spark went down to the lower level. The wood caught on fire. The workers there tried to extinguish it themselves. When it got out of hand, they said, we better call the fire department, which they did. They came out, and at that point, it was just probably a roaring blaze. They said they couldn't even enter the boat. They could only attack it from the outside. So, and there's a steel hull and all that. And I guess they said a steam engine, but most of the upper part was wood construction. And, I'd hazard a guess how much that would take. That's looking across at Belle Isle. And yeah, this is where she sits. Oh my Lord. And it's pretty much down to the bare bones there. And I couldn't even guess what it would cost to refurbish and to get this back in order. They were working on it pretty good. Here's the stairwell or the ramp to get to the boat, but that's a little tricky even to navigate now. You have to swim across actually. But yeah, it's charred. I have no idea. It's probably several $1 million to get this back to where it was, and you have to do that cost-benefit analysis, like, are you going to get your money back on this thing? It almost goes to like you'd almost need corporate sponsors and so forth, some people with deep pockets, some philanthropists that have some money and might want to do a public good deed or something. But I'm at a loss, to be honest with you. It was all sad. It's just, and it's unfortunate, but a lot of things in Detroit, we've kind of let them go, and it's time to hang on to our history. Here, the Belle Isle Bridge, and right above it, the Ambassador Bridge. It's kind of a trick of the eyes there, but there is quite a distance between the two. But yeah, God, that's sad. I don't know what to do. Maybe somebody can come up with a game plan and we can all get on board with it. Yeah, if you go to St. Jean Park, they have a boat launch there and you could get a closer look. Here they have, I don't even know if these are individual homes or condos or what they're doing. They're still building a couple of them. These are upscale. I showed the sign here in a little bit. I should put an X instead of a star, but that's where the Boblo boat is. St. Jean and Nautical Way. Morgan Waterfront. I missed it. Riverside Marina is officially where Boblo boats. It's part of the Riverside Marina property. That's their entrance there. That building needed some roof work. This is one of my favorite buildings. I'm not getting a great look at it, but I love that one. Okay, Drinks by Design. This was on July 12th at 1111 Bellevue. And so it's just a couple blocks, or just a few streets off from the MacArthur Bridge, Bellevue. This is a neat little neighborhood. Okay, there's the Boblo boat. There's Belle Isle. So I'm going to start here at Jefferson and look at, this has been around for a while, these riverfront lofts. Or the lofts at Rivertown is what it's officially called. An attractive building. Look at the variety of windows. Depends which floor you're on, but all different style windows. And then how convenient you have a Wendy's across the street. Cool. And then Comfort Cafe. Those food trucks are all the rage these days and give people a lot more options at lunchtime. And of course, being portable as they are, it's really neat. Well, here's an old Thunderbird, and I went to Etzelford High School, and we were the Thunderbirds, so that was a pretty big Thunderbird. Had some wide wings. But I'm checking out Bellevue Street en route to the Drinks by Design event. Here's a nice restaurant, and the upper floors don't look like they're inhabited yet. Southern Fires, and it's a soul food restaurant. I went in there once and had lunch or whatever it was, and it was some good eating. Okay, so this is a Design Core event, and they do fabulous work. I mean, I mark my calendar every month for their events. Utopia Gardens is kind of neat. They take care of your healthcare needs, any problem you might have. medically, they probably have something there that will help ease the pain. But a lot of nice, attractive buildings along here. Here we got hero or villain. Yeah. Me and my evil twin. We go back and forth on that. Okay, some of the fair menu. Okay, here's the lay of the land. This is going to be a 2-floor operation, and look at all the different businesses. And it's kind of like a shared space. This is kind of neat how they're doing this. Oh, I'm only going to have about 4 minutes to wrap this up. And then next week's show, I'll continue this. I got quite a bit on this Drinks by Design, but yeah, nice little shops or businesses interconnected. They create a little synergy, a little action between them. Maybe, I don't know how they, look at the nice birdie. I don't know how they share rent. I'm sure they work that out, and so it becomes affordable kind of a thing. But creative people doing good work. I even like just looking up top and checking the industrial art. Be good to customers. Give them quality. Close isn't good enough. Wow, see, words to live by. And here's the city of Detroit flag. We will rise from the ashes. Says that in Latin there somehow. But yeah, they have workshops and so forth. This is a cabinet making or cabinets, cupboards, whatnot. I like those old concrete pillars. They have some heavy artillery to do the woodworking. They look like they're set up to make lots of stuff. And here, look at the elevator. An industrial style elevator. So they always have music, they have art, they have drinking, they have all fun and great people. You get the young millennials and so forth, and yeah, it's an awesome crowd, and it's a free event. How cool is that? And you would never be able to take a tour like on your own, just walk up, unless you knew somebody and said, hey, can I take a peek around? But an event like this, yeah, you can walk around, check out the place. Here, like RoboCop probably love wandering through this area here. This is heavy industry and stuff. Yeah, they got cranes and stuff. Cool. So I took a little detour. But yeah, next week's show, hopefully, if all goes well, I'll wrap up this Drinks by Design, and then I'm going to check out the new site of the Gordie Howe International Bridge and do a 360 around the neighborhood and show what's going on there. But folks, thanks for watching. Hope you have a great week or a weekend, whatever the case may be. And good night.